up? What's up? What's up? How are you doing out there this evening? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. I am your host, Lee Black, and I'm coming to you live today, this August 3rd, in the dog days of summer, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And my show is part of the TFG platform of shows. And so you can find me on YouTube and on Facebook. And since this is an adult show with adult topics, and colorful language, you can find me on the YouTube and Facebook platforms under TFG Uncut and TFG Ratchet. Because especially on my show, the content tends to get a little bit raunchy, a little bit colorful, a little bit real, and so the language is for adults. With that said, it's always love here. We have a simple motto here, Real Talk for Real Men. We can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. With that said, I invite any and all opinions. They're welcome. We don't turn anybody away. This is not that type of platform. This is where we like to indulge and engage in adult content and learn from each other. So hopefully tonight, if this is your first time joining me, first time viewing, you will get something out of tonight's show, because on our Wednesday shows, we tend to tackle subjects that are a little bit more serious and geared towards relationships, whereas on Sundays, we have some fun. But that said, let me bring in my co-host from Memphis, Tennessee. This is Tasha Mack. What's going on, McMack?
What's going on, Black? How are you?
I'm doing okay today. How about yourself?
I'm glad it's Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just
Hump
say
day.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things is when we get to the end of the show, we know we got this week on the run.
You have to. Yeah, it's the only thing I'm clinging to.
I love it. I love it. So I appreciate you being with me. Much love. And I see I got my brother from Texas, Mr. Kenny. Let's bring him in the picture. What's going on, my brother?
Good evening, hosts and hostess. How you all doing this evening?
What's going on, Kenny?
Great. How you weathering that heat out there, my brother, in Texas?
Hey, man, I'll be the first to admit I love the summertime, but man, doggone it, this heat just got totally disrespectful at this point. It's
Yes,
like,
Lord.
man, I think I was trying to figure. I think in Texas we didn't have like over 20 triple-digit days since
Crazy.
like June. I mean, it's like crazy. So yeah, I'm about sick of it now. I'm
I hear you,
kind
my
of ready
brother.
for a little bit of that fall weather now.
That's my time of year. You using the word Tasha always says. She said this shit is disrespectful.
Right. Yeah.
But I appreciate both of you. You know what? Anytime I pop in to do my show and I see these two faces, everything else is a plus. I know I got some great conversation coming. And so I appreciate my brother and my sister popping in. And so you're probably wondering, what are we talking about today? Let's get on and get to this thing. And so, I always come up with topics that kind of speak to me in that moment. We've missed a few shows here over the past couple of weeks because I was dealing with COVID. And just, I think compounding with my condition with COVID, just the stress of being sick and all of those things. And so it's been a long road to get back, to this place where I'm feeling this good and I'm happy and things are going well. So, things are trending in the right direction for me. So what I want to talk about today, folks, is dating. As I've been kind of cooped up in these walls, running up the air,
Right.
and I've been just kind of pondering so much that's been going on. And I always try to relate things, see how things relate to, relationships, as it pertains to the show. And I got to thinking, we are on the precipice of another pandemic outbreak, and Tasha and I, we talk all the time. And it's a scary time right now. And I was literally just reading an article this morning where it was talking about how healthcare facilities are turning people away who are coming in to get tested for monkeypox. And so just like we did with the onset of COVID, what's going on, my brother Bert? How you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
sir. Yes, sir.
What's up, brother?
Not to be
Love
your
it.
dad.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see
Good
you.
to see all of you. I missed you
You
guys.
too. You too.
Man,
Miss you too,
I miss
brother.
God, man, you just don't know. So thank you, my brother. Love you. Good, love seeing you. And so I was just starting to explain, how we got to this topic, because we're talking about dating in the shadow of the pandemic era. And I was reading an article where healthcare facilities are turning away people who are coming in to get tested, for monkeypox. and we're repeating this same cycle. How we're behind the eight ball the same way we did with COVID, and COVID's making a strong comeback right here in Atlanta or in Georgia, I should say. We're one of the fastest growing cities. They're about to reinstate the mask again. New York, LA, these places, the activity is ramping right back up. It's almost as if we haven't learned a thing. Now, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, of all of that part, because I want to talk about how this relates to dating, and so I know my brother here on the bottom left, he's found his one.
Yeah.
And so, my God, you extending the hope to people like us, to us three on here. And that's because I want to talk about what dating and finding that right person looks like now that we're living in the constant shadow of the pandemic era, because I don't see any end in sight. What do you guys, just in general, before I get into this, because I want to talk about 6 specific trends that have been happening since the pandemic hit, going on 3 years. But just in general, how are, and even I want your input too, Bert, how are you guys feeling about where we are in terms of relationships living in the shadow of the pandemic?
I can honestly say I'm not that hopeful. I really aren't. I think we're we're at a crossroads anyway with the relationships, where there seem to be the me versus them anyway. But now of being safe and just putting your health and all that stuff first, and then kind of already going through the pandemic before, everybody's kind of stuck in their ways. They're probably a little bit more afraid to put themselves out there, put their feet in the water. The social media climate is muddy. I hear a lot of women say it's pee in the water, so to speak, and finding good mates. So I'll be honest with you, I think it's kind of bleak for single men and single women out here right now.
Wow. I echo those sentiments, and I'm gonna share with you my views as well. Tasha, as a single woman, where are things for you right now? Better, worse, the same? What do you think?
I've hit like a real comfort level being by myself, like even more. I would say very relaxed, definitely not in a rush looking for anything. And again, that can be like a double-edged sword, because the longer you're by yourself, you're gonna set those really clear boundaries of what you're just not going to deal with, like, at all. So it can be, it could be good, it could be bad. But I think really seeing what's out there, I'm not going to say that it's all bad out there, because, I have to have hope that there's still some good people out there. Okay.
Right.
I think, they might be few and far in between, but again, what I might consider good, someone else may not. But for me, just where I am, what I'm looking for, and I told you this the other day, I need consistency. And a lot of things that I'm seeing is that there's a lot of people that are consistently inconsistent, and I can't. And I can't, don't want to deal with it. It's not that serious. I'll just be by myself for a little while longer.
I love that. And you guys hearing this, because these are real conversations she and I have all the time. Regardless of the show or not, people may not know. We talk about this all the time, and so this is real. And before I get into this, I want you guys to kind of hear, I don't want to hear from you, see where you're at. Bert, you have a wedding coming up, and so I'm envious, man, because you found that person. And I've said this publicly on the show. You're two of my favorite people. Not that you're perfect or anything, but I love how you found each other, and this platform has allowed us to get to know you guys and kind of watch from afar. You know what I'm saying? And it puts me in the mind of a joke that Chris Rock told. And I was just watching this recently. He said, "You ever been around two people in love and you sit there and you go, these motherfuckers really like each other, Watching that, I mean, it's surreal. But how has it been for you two in this pandemic era as you've been working towards this special day?
Uh, it's been a little rough at times because of all that you got to do, and then not only that, then we have folks being sick, including myself.
Yep.
So that really put a big strain because not only trying to get ready for the big day, but now you have your loved one not
Yep.
feeling well or anything like that. Um, but other than that, we've been good. We found out a lot about ourselves. I think the one thing that we learned what each other boundaries are.
Mm.
I love
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
I love it.
And that struck me, Tasha, when you said, like, listen, I've been in here, I'm kind of stuck in my ways right now, there's no compromise. I think at one point it was getting to that, but then it was like, we have to understand each other's boundaries now, because now we're around each other even more. There's no more going to work and coming back, hey, I missed you, after the next day,
Right,
it's hard to
right.
find it. So now we adjusted. So now we're good and we're on solid ground, and now we do have that compromise
I love it.
where I'm like, listen, I understand where you're coming from, you got to understand where I'm coming from, and whenever it's time, we give each other our space where she can still do what she wants, I can still do what I want, and we still come to a happy medium. But I'm not gonna hold you guys. When this conversation that you're talking about, when I went out to the market, no lie, bro. I was thinking to myself, I was like, what if I was single out here in the streets? And I was thinking about monkeypox, because I was just hearing people talking about it all on the radio and this, that, and the third. And I was like, and then when Kenny and Tosh was talking, I was like, I probably would feel the same way. Like I would hope that there's somebody out there, but from what's going on, I don't even know if I want to be around people, even if I want to kiss you or whatever. Because with this whole situation, it's causing us to be almost whoever's not introverted being really introverted and not want to
Right.
deal with anybody anymore, like cutting the communication off, and that's not cool.
That's why I decided to do this topic. You guys have nailed it. You guys have nailed it. I'm in the process of moving. I'll be moving in the next month to another building, and I'm back to that scary place where now we're dealing with monkeypox, which can be transmitted on your clothes and touching and this and that, and that's being compounded with the resurgence of regular COVID and whatnot. I live in a city which has probably the heaviest homosexual population, amongst especially African Americans, and it's so much going on. It's terrifying. I'm literally terrified. Now I'm split between where Tasha and Kenny is because on the one hand, like you, brother Ken, I'm apathetic. I don't necessarily know. I don't see an end to the end of the tunnel of where we're going here because I feel like we're going to go back to being so scared and introverted as Bert mentioned. But I'm trying to hold out a little bit of hope too because I don't know. I need to hold on to something and believe in something. So that as we get into these trends, it's going to you'll see intersperse all of the things we're talking about. And so I hope we can pick something up from this because I want to be hopeful. So let's
Yeah.
talk about the first thing, that we've noticed, and this is from a study. I find these studies, and like any study, we're going to look at it like a grocery store. Shop and take from it what you will. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It won't all hit, and that's why we discuss it. So the first trend that it talked about in this particular article that was in particular stood out was something called dry dating. Dry dating. And I love the look on your face, Brother Bert, because what this talked about, this was a study taken from the dating site Bumble. And if you're unfamiliar with Bumble, this is a women's first type of app. And I've done a lot of online app dating type stuff. What makes this app different is that the women have to choose you. You know how normally as a guy you go on the app and you
Right.
swipe left and swipe right or whatever. Well, on this one, you can indicate who you like, but you get no play unless they find you interested.
Yeah,
Have all
like the real world. That's the
like
real world, pretty much.
it is their world for real, for real. And so you could waste a lot of time here because, man, she hot. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait because unless they find something about you interesting, you're not going to get hit on Bumble. But when it talked about dry dating, this was trend was talking about how women are reassessing relationships without alcohol.
Mhm.
Without alcohol. Welcome, Sister Anna.
Hey y'all.
Hey,
Hey.
what's up, Hannah?
And so, on this particular trend, women were talking. 34% of the women in this study talked about how they are now preferring to date without alcohol being involved. No alcohol involved in dating. And 29% now believe that societal norms are changing and shifting based on this trend about taking alcohol out of the equation. I laughed when I heard this because before I get to you guys, I've often said in my personal life, I only really had two hobbies as an adult: fucking and drinking.
I just got here.
You know,
Why not?
so I want to hear your opinion because if you take drinking away from me and being a fat, obese, being struggling with all kinds of issues, and I ain't fucking like I used to, what's left for me? Good God. I digress. You guys think about, I have to laugh at this so you guys have to know. What do you guys think about this as this is seemed to be trending forward that more women are wanting to take alcohol out of the equation as they date?
I'll let the women go first on that one.
If I don't understand why it has to be a trend. Like if you choose not to drink, you choose not to drink. If you choose to drink, then drink. Why does everything have to be a trend? Does anyone not have their own mind nowadays? Like if you decide, well, I don't want to drink because I want to date and date with a clear mind, then you don't drink. But I mean, I'm gonna have a drink, so I don't understand
See,
that. Okay.
you're speaking as somebody that's
We
found
have a
somebody.
full bar in this house for a reason.
I love it. But I got a question for you. So I got a
But
question
there
for you
was a
before I
point
get
of
to
time
Tasha.
I never drank.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I did have my first drink at 21. I didn't have no alcohol or anything. And after that, I would slowly drink. So I probably think I drink more now and at my age than I did at my 20s
I
whatsoever.
love that you said that because you're speaking as a woman who's found somebody. So
Right.
before I get to Tasha, how many times though has alcohol maybe played a part in a woman lowering her inhibitions because alcohol was involved? And so you ask, why is this a trend? You know, maybe you wasn't a drinker, but I'm looking at the guys' faces. Alcohol is an important factor in moving that needle up as Bert takes a drink.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say one thing though. You can drink to drink, and there's a difference between drinking to be drunk. Now, I have drank before because it's weird. My friends, I guess I'm a tight ass going out. They literally used to tell me, "You need a drink." And I'm like, "Well, damn," because I guess I was out with them like this, like didn't want to be bothered, irritated. That was just my thing. So I would take a drink to loosen up, but not to loosen my drawers. So I think it depends on how you're drinking too. If you know
Okay.
you drink till you don't know you sleep with somebody you don't know their name and don't care what their name is, then maybe you need to lay off the alcohol.
Okay. Okay. Good point. Tasha.
That's where I was gonna go with it because again, you 34% have decided they're gonna stop drinking on dates. So then I would challenge that with then you don't know how to drink before. Because if you're meeting someone for a drink socially, honestly, and it's the first time that you're meeting them, you should be nursing a drink. Why are you just downing them down the hatch? You don't know that person like that. And I understand maybe you want to like build up a nerve or you want to like relax yourself, but again, maybe get a double shot and sip a little bit slower. And it'll do what it's supposed to do. But I don't understand that. I honestly I don't see the benefit of it. because again, I'm tired of this narrative that we are just going to kind of put it all like on men, as if women don't be out there plotting too. They be ordering the men drinks too. Like, go on and get you another one. Maybe he's not even a drinker. He might be a smoker, but no, you insist on him drinking with you. So again, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I love it. You made some really, really good points. Fellas, where do you guys stand on this? Because if you're like me, drinking is probably just a natural thing of in a dating scenario, and that's whether you're a heavy drinker or not. And so, where do you guys stand on the side of this possibly trending upward, which is what is suggesting that we take alcohol out of dating?
Well, I think there's 66% of women that's said to hell with I'm not gonna stop drinking. So the percentages is already still on our side. If I did my math correctly, I'm not a math major, but so that's where I'm going with
I
that.
love it.
But on the serious side though, I think that it's about self-control. I think if you probably ask those women, the 34% that have tried, they're saying they're gonna do that, they probably have made some bad decisions getting a little bit too tipsy. So now they trying to flip it and say, you know what, I'm just going to take that out of the equation. And that's fine. I get it. Change is good. When you see something that ain't working, they always say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results. So I can understand that. But my thing is, as long as if that's your personal choice, cool. But if that man that you may be interested in likes to have a drink or two, don't push what your personal conviction is on him.
I love
that's
it.
Just that's my take on it.
Great points, and I love your math.
The odds are still in your favor.
I got to hold on to something, baby. Bert, what you say, my brother?
I think everybody should drink. So we get the draws down. No, let me be serious. Look, everybody hit a home run on their point and everything that they said. A lot of times I drank just to loosen myself up a little bit so I wouldn't be so tight.
Right.
And it's a social thing. I mean, I know when to say when and not to. I mean, it was, kind of good conversation over a nice drink or something like that. I don't understand what's going on right now. Like what everybody said, maybe they just couldn't control themselves. And would you say, Ty, like trying to put it on men when here it is, you the one acting all loose. Maybe he wasn't even trying to go there, but you did what you did. He ain't turning it down. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's about self-control. You can drink responsibly, have a great time, and keep it moving. You have some of your best dates having a little drink. Loosen yourself up. You get to talk a little bit more, know a little bit more about the person. It has its benefits.
Absolutely. For me, I'm going to say even more than its benefits. For me, it is necessary. You started at the very beginning where I'm going to go in all seriousness. I don't want to. This is me, so I'm glad the numbers are in my favor. I don't want to date a woman that doesn't drink. There are a few things for me that are deal breakers. That for me are deal breakers. Hygiene is at the top of the list. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. If I met a woman, I don't necessarily know that I could even relax enough, not in a real sense to get to know her if we taking alcohol out of it, because a couple of things are going to stand out for me. As a drinker, I associate drinking with great conversation, relaxation, and being that I'm not out dating and likely my dates are going to be inside anywhere. And even if we went to a restaurant or something, I'm all for a great conversation, but I am going to have a drink. And so if that offends that person, we're already starting off on a bad note. Now I also have been predatory in my approach with alcohol, and I'm saying that nicely. And that's because I firmly believe that people sometimes need plausible deniability. And so even if you take the drinking out of it, I can't tell you how many countless times, women have came through and where there wasn't alcohol, there was a blunt rolled up. You know what I'm saying? And so it's been my premise that people sometimes they want to do something to use that as just enough of a reason to do what they wanted to do anyway.
Mm.
You know, now whereas have been a predator, and yes, I am like a lion attacking. They also wanted to be eaten. You know, they were willing meals. You know, so I'm an old lion. I didn't have to run far to catch these bitches. You know, they pretty much walked into the trap head on. They knew they were going to be devoured. Let's just be honest. You know, so with that said, I just gave them a little bit of a push. You know,
Is this literal or figurative? Okay.
just saying. So alcohol is important to me in that sense, but I will share this on this subject at the end. This is the irony of this part coming up though now, and where it's changed for me in terms of the drinking part. Because I associate a good time with drinking, do you know that sitting here by myself, I don't drink not even a tenth of what I normally used to drink?
Mm.
Because I actually use alcohol now in for social moments. Like normally I would actually be drinking while I'm doing this show. I'm having water right now because, you know, I'm dealing with, you know, peripheral neuropathy issues. And so otherwise than that, I would actually be drinking alcohol because I associate a great conversation, have a good time with a drink in my hand. And if I was around women and we were socially playing music, there would be alcohol. So for me, I'm reserving not drinking until I do get a bitch up in here. So then I'm going back.
So I have a
That's interesting. Okay.
Because if we're gonna be, you know, if 34% are saying we're not gonna be doing any drinking, okay, well, what are we gonna be doing? What is your vice? Because it's got to be replaced with something.
That's why I said
That's
about
a
the
good question.
smoking.
That's a good
That's
question.
why I said about the smoking. And I know for me, since I've been here in Atlanta, I've not met one woman that doesn't smoke weed.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Every woman that I've come across, whether they were young, old, professional or not, I actually was not a weed. Tasha can attest to this. I was not a weed smoker prior to moving to Atlanta. If it was a special occasion and somebody lit up a blunt, I'd take a hit here and there. I have weed in my house. I've never bought weed ever in my life, ever. I wouldn't even know where to begin to go find the plug, as they say. And, you know, and I got weed and shit. And that's because I have women that bring me weed, that bring me the good. Even now, like, hey, Black, I brought you some good. Okay. And it sits in the drawer, you know, so that if they come and somebody says, you know, you got anything? Yeah, I happen to do. But, you know,
I got
so
you.
to your point, to answer your point, Tasha, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Okay, but then there are some that don't want smoking either. So then it's like, what? So really, what are you doing
I
then?
haven't met her. So I haven't met her.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I
and
don't-
I've always made this
Mhm.
comment. I don't trust a person that doesn't have a vice.
Mhm.
And I'm being so serious. Bert, speak to that.
Yeah, like nobody has a perfect. Everybody got something now. Like, come on, whether you want to divulge or not. But you know, what I mean, if you got a little dirt in your nails, I trust you a little bit more than if you come in here all squeaky clean and everything. Because I can't trust
Right.
a person that said they ain't never getting nothing, they never did nothing. I don't trust you.
You
I
can't
got an ex-girlfriend who lives in Dallas.
You can't do crap.
I got an ex-girlfriend who lives in Dallas who I was absolutely in love with. And by today's standards, I could not date her. She doesn't smoke, which I don't know what she does now, but she didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she wasn't a cursor. This was the true definition of a goody-goody. Now, back in the day, she fit into something that I needed because I had a whole lot of nasty bitches around me. I needed somebody good to balance me out. But where I am now, we wouldn't, and I'm being so serious here, I don't necessarily, if she's that same way, we wouldn't have enough in common, because if she still doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't curse, doesn't watch rated X movies, hates rated R movies, and turn off, that's too much cursing.
Well, yeah, y'all wouldn't have. Y'all not matched. Yeah, that's not a good compatibility.
And
Yeah.
that's scary.
Movies.
You know, this is a person who watched Petticoat Junction.
Petticoat
I'm not
junction.
even kidding you.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding you. We didn't watch TV in the same room because our interest and taste was so far apart.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
sex and violence and horror movies and demonism and shit like that. And this is a person that wouldn't sit for any of that, that would go in another room to watch hours on end of Petticoat Junction and those
Wow.
old kind of movies and shit. What's that one? Green Acres. I mean, those were her type of things. You know, we just didn't have even
You
going
want to right,
with
right.
her. It was an experience because you got to find a movie that fit her sensibilities. You know,
So
and
what did y'all have in
sex
common?
was
I mean,
incredible. The
that
sex
was it.
incredible.
Yeah, that was
She
it.
was so clean and such
Okay.
a good person that it was a long distance relationship. So I could, when she would leave, I could go back to my life doing me. And then for that weekend or few days she would be in town, I would kind of go on lockdown status and be goody goody with her. And so it was kind of like a break from being me in a sense. And then, of course, the sex was absolutely incredible. You know,
So wait, she did all that and then she was having sex?
oh my gosh, she was incredible in bed. Incredible.
So that was
Was-
her thing then.
Oh, I'm glad
right,
you said
right,
that.
right. Exactly. That was her
So
thing.
it's funny you say that. And I'm gonna move to another topic because in later years after we split, do you know that I read Tasha can attest to this? I realized that she didn't drink, smoke, blah blah blah. She liked to fuck, and she had all of these boyfriends that the more we would be talking. Well, she would in order to justify screwing somebody. Well, I was dating him. I would tell Tasha this, and the more she would talk, I'd realize, well, you got an awful lot of troops in that pantry. You know what I'm saying? A lot of soldiers running through that camp there. And so here I am looking at it now, and I'm mad as I think about this now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I caught that pussy out there when it was halfway innocent. When it really learned to fuck, then it went somewhere and employed all the good tactics out there.
She was doing more than watching Petticoat Junction and Green Acres. That's for sure.
If you watching, you owe. You still owe. But
Oh my gosh.
see, we got thrown off on the tangent just on the very first one. The second trend, let's talk about hesitating. Tasha, and you mentioned this and where you are at this stage, because what this is talking about is a feeling of indifference, that feeling of being uncertain about whether or not you want to be serious or date casually. And so 70% of the singles that they polled for this study acknowledge that this is a very real thing. 70%. And they said they felt this way because they were mirroring the uncertainty of what's happening in the world and the chaos that has happened since the pandemic. That this is a real thing. That for a lot of people, 70% Tasha feel like you do. What does that say? So I guess my question here is, how can we move the needle forward? Tasha, for you, I'm starting with you because you really brought this up, that you've settled into this place.
Mhm.
Any light to bring it down, or do you see this just being where you're going to be for a while?
I don't know. I do think that because I don't feel like I don't have FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Ooh.
I don't feel like that there's anything out there right now that I just have to be a part of. I don't feel like that there's a person out there that I'm just dying to get to know. Like I miss being able to be smitten and just so taken by somebody.
Wow.
And and I think it still exists. I'm not kidding. I do believe it still exists, but I think it's very, very few and far in between. And you're really gonna have to be out there. You're seriously gonna have to be putting yourself out there to kind of weed through that. And right now, I just don't see that. It's not a priority for me. It's far more important things going on in the world than finding somebody.
Wow. Brother Ken, twofold question for you then. Are you caught up in this 70% where you feel this level of indifference and uncertainty to even be serious at this point? And then the part two is based on what she just said, how do we as single men get somebody to notice us then?
Yeah, and that's the $1 million question because I can say I'm definitely hesitant. I'm more hesitant, but I definitely I'm open to it. I think you can be hesitant, but also be open to wanting that. I I still want that, even through all the trials and tribulations that I've been going through the last year and a half. I really feel like if I had that person that I could somewhat lean on, it would make these times a little bit easier to deal with. So I do want that. I think for us to the solution to that and to move forward, I just think you have to decide what you want. Either you want to get out there, or either you cool with staying in your place and you happy with being alone. I'll be honest with you. I'm 53 years old. I don't think I want to die alone. I don't. And you have to
That's heavy,
that's
man.
something you really have to think of.
That's heavy.
And I don't. And then I look at couples like Bert and Hannah, and I love it. Black love is so. I'm always preaching positivity and black love, and I love it. I watched a video today with one of my favorite groups, the Tones, which used to be called the Hamiltones, and it's a video they just put out called "Got So Much Love," and it just shows in a video they show the art of dating. Yeah, I do want that again. I do want the butterflies.
Wow.
But
I think
how would we get there? That's again, that's the $1 million question.
which I'm gonna turn to our resident couple here. You guys have, found that magic, and in a short time, you're gonna solidify that, in the greatest possible way. Because we could even get on the subject about marriage. A lot of people aren't even believing in marriage. I like that you guys are doing that. From where you sit with your with the single people, are they in that same state? And what are you telling them and telling us that we could do then to maybe and from what Tasha talked about to get how can Kenny and myself, who we want to be in a relationship, and Hannah, maybe you have single female friends. How do we wow them in this era of the shadow of the pandemic, where it's limiting our contact, the fear, and then chivalry and all the other stuff that goes on out there? What can we do?
So I have one friend who is still single. Who I'm gonna be honest, I'm a straightforward friend. As I've always been that way. And she kept saying, "Oh, I'm not meeting nobody, and I'm this and that." And I'm like, "You're not gonna walk in your room with your bonnet on. Like, you have to make yourself available, even if you can. If you, it's people out here. You just gotta realize what is out there and not categorize everything." So she just thinks, "Oh, this person is this way," but you gotta realize everyone is not the same way. And honestly, if I thought that, we probably wouldn't be getting married because we both been married before. So I realized you have to make yourself available, and then after a certain while, if you dated, you know some of the patterns, you know what signs to look for, you know what you want to accept and what you're not. So if you know somebody is giving you the same energy that you want, then don't push that off. Because sometimes a friend of mine, she'll get the energy, she'll get what she wants, but she'll blow it off because
Mm,
she think it's too good.
mm,
But
mm,
sometimes you gotta realize sometimes it's not too good. Sometimes you just need to just go with the flow and let it happen.
Mm,
But it's not gonna happen if you're not making yourself available.
mm,
maybe that's that fear, though.
right.
We're talking
Right.
about. Bert,
Yeah,
what do
it's
you?
real fear. Because
Yeah, that.
before him, I was on my FD. Don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't say nothing to me, I'll message
Right.
And it's for real. And they got songs about this. Bert, what do you think, man, about this whole state where we're at, where single people, there's a fear and a hesitation, and how can we get past this, and some of us find that person.
Uh, Man, I don't want to be so cliches, but it's like a leap of faith.
Ooh, I like that.
Honestly, it's a leap of faith
I like that.
because you're going against all conventional wisdom. You know what I'm saying? To tell you the truth, I was married, what, 18 years ago. And during that time, trials and tribulations, working on myself, knowing myself, and just being comfortable with myself. And I always said, even when I got divorced, I said I know one day it will happen. I don't know when. I didn't put a timetable, and that was very important because it would have made it too rigid.
Okay.
Lounging out there just searching and looking, just trying to grab somebody. I think when you let everything happen organically, you just be yourself, be who you are, unapologetic, and it will happen. I wasn't looking for Hannah. Hannah wasn't looking for me.
Right.
But some way somehow,
You know this. You saw this.
all of that,
You saw this.
and it just happened.
Yeah.
And look, years later, look at us.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's
And I
dope.
love your advice.
That's
Just
dope.
don't lose faith. I understand the hesitation because I know if I was in your shoes and I'm putting myself in your shoes, just living vicariously through you, through the situation, I would be the same way. I probably would be even worse because I could
It's
be very standoffish, like I don't want to deal with nobody. But
Mm.
but just have that faith. And sometimes you might have to take a little bit of a leap, but
I appreciate it.
I'd rather put myself out there just a little bit, just to see what can happen, than just sit back reserved and then like, what if? Why was I like this? Why did I stay
I'm gonna
so
tell you
super
why I'm so
introverted?
glad you said that, and that for that advice for me, it's really sinking in. Anybody who knows me knows that my hunting grounds is the grocery stores. Kroger's is my place, and when I used to chase them ratchet things, it used to be Walmart. But I'm trying to upgrade my game, so I go to Kroger.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: how this applies when you talk about taking that leap of faith and putting yourself out there. Because of the pandemic, I don't club. I haven't been to a club that's not my thing. Tasha says she the fear of missing something. I don't feel like I'm missing anything out here. Right here in Atlanta, they got concerts out the ass here. There's
Mhm.
not a weekend that goes by that there's not a festival or concert here in Atlanta. It's ridiculous in terms of the things to do here. But to Tasha's point, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I mean, nothing. And that limits now, though, my exposure to meet somebody because I'm not going to a club. I'm not going to sports bars anymore because of for fear of COVID and monkeypox and whatnot. And so I'm not even going to museums or anything. I haven't even done all the things to do here. So you talk about a leap of faith. You know why that's important to me to hear you say that? In my local restaurant, I mean grocery store, I see workers that I'm attracted to, and there's a fear to take that leap though, and to let that person know I'm interested. I can't tell you how many times I've walked past the food counter in Kroger's, and there's the same person, that you see, and I'm like, man, I'm attracted to this person. I go up there and I kind of look around, sometimes pretending like I'm looking for shit, but I'm really trying to get a look at that ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm just keeping it honest with you. I'm
No,
just saying with you what's
I
going
can
through my head.
I can
I hope,
relate to
Kenny, I
that.
hope you can relate.
Well, I
But
can relate to that from the
fear of,
gym standpoint
you know what I'm
because
saying?
yeah, I can definitely relate
And
to
then,
that.
so with you, Kenny, like
Yeah.
they tell you that the gym is the worst place to hit on a woman.
Right, it is, and it
So
It
it's
is.
the
is.
fear of taking.
Yeah.
Oh, they tell you
Oh
that
yeah, it
because
is.
women get
Yeah.
offended
They do.
because they think I didn't come here to the gym for you
Right.
to look at me. So
Right.
I'm looking at
And
your face. So I want y'all to understand how real this struggle is. So when you talk about a leap of faith, there's a fear of putting yourself out there, of getting embarrassed, or it's
I can
real.
relate. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I have ran across quite a few that I kind of caught my eye, but it's like, man, I don't. How do I? I don't want to approach. I mean, how do I approach it? I'm like, and then I was like, nah, I'm definitely not gonna do that in the gym because I ain't trying to get looked at crazy or whatever. So it really is, man. It really is. You're caught in that weird place. It's a weird place for dating right now.
Yes, it
Real
is.
talk.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, baby. Go
No,
ahead.
no. I was gonna say two things. One thing, and I did tell one of my friends, and she did meet her boyfriend there. I'll give you all one thing. Some women go to a corporate happy hour just to meet somebody.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
That they go there interested.
Okay.
So that is one good place.
Thank
And
you.
also, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, in the gym, I don't want nobody looking at me. I be wearing his t-shirts because I be feeling some type of way. So I understand that, but if you get there, that person you might get there maybe if you know their routine, maybe 5 minutes before, open the door. Say I ain't want you to touch this door or something. You just gotta plan it right.
I feel you. I feel you.
Plan that you're not in the gym yet. You
I
planning
feel
it
you.
before
I
y'all in
feel you.
there.
I hear you, Hunter. I ain't trying to be like no cornball though. I
That,
ain't
No,
trying to be
that,
not
no
a cornball, but that's
yeah,
the
cornball.
thing.
real.
That is the thing.
Real.
That's the fear. A lot of people be like, "Oh, chivalry is dead," and men think that everybody thinks he's being a cornball, but it's really women out here that wants that. It's just how you do it. You can be a gentleman and not be corny as hell, like, or you can be
I
corny,
believe you, but I just hope you
No,
understand that.
I believe you,
But
but
it's
you
it's, it's,
right.
it's
I agree
crazy
with what you're
nowadays.
saying, but that's the internal fear that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Bert, you had a question. Oh,
Yeah,
your
let
comment.
me ask you brother something. And if this applies to you, Tosh, you too as well.
Okay.
I know it, I'm just
Not you too.
no, because I'm saying
Because I got a
for a man
question
to
for
a
Bert.
woman, I just be wondering.
I'm gonna have a question for Tasha too.
Tosh is
All
sick.
right, just answer it.
What's holding you back from because I know you said I want to, but I don't want to.
Right.
What is stopping you from just, hey, what's up? Is it a rejection because you feel like you have something in your head about that person and you don't want to get it wrecked, or is it really like I'm really hesitant because I got battle scars and I don't know if I'm ready to put myself in there like that again, even though I can see myself dealing with you.
Okay, for me, it's not so much the battle scars. It's Hunter said a minute ago about chivalry being dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you could say battle scars then, because at my core, I am a gentleman. Despite all of this, the shit that comes out of my mouth, poll any female friend that I've ever had, poll a Tasha Daracel, and I've never disrespected them on any level, ever,
Mm-mm. Never.
ever. And we've been out countless places, countless times. They've been to the club with me. I'm the guy that's watching your purse, making sure nobody don't disrespect you. I, at my core, believe it or not, I am that. So here's the thing: when I have open doors, Hannah, the reaction wasn't good. When I have been tried to, hey, sweetheart, blah blah blah, then it's turned off because it's perceived in the wrong way. So to answer your question, Bert, I've had those moments where the timing might be just right. There's nobody at the counter. I go up there and she's there, and then her face is twisted up, and that stops me in that moment. That
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I seem to be in a good mood,
I
so I
get it
change
now.
my
Now it's
mind
more
in the
information.
moment. And then there's times when I am kind of leaning towards going there, and then something else will happen. And it's just so many missed opportunities, and it kind of relegates you to that world like a teenager again, where you
Right,
well,
exactly.
I'm just being honest with
Yep, that's true.
you.
That's
Want to?
true.
I'm giving you as honest answers as I can give
But do
you.
you feel does it do something to you that you feel like this? Does it
Oh man,
reinvigorate you or?
that walk to the car, it's almost like a wasted trip, and then you think, well, next time and next time, and so I want to ask Tasha, as a woman, do you even experience that? Because I wonder, with women, y'all get hit on all the time,
No, we
so it
don't.
gotta be. Oh God, yes. Stop.
Yes, stop it, Hannah. Stop it, Hannah. Yes, you
I
are.
know you need to really stop it.
I don't
Stop
know
it.
why you think that happens. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
I ain't even
does.
gonna debate that.
No,
Stop.
it does
I'm not even
not.
going.
Yes,
So
it does.
I'll ask it this way. So then, does for you is that even a thing for you as a woman then, Tasha, that when you're running errands and you're out doing places, are there ever any moments where you even see somebody that you think maybe, but is that happen?
No. I'll be honest. There's not anybody that I've just seen that I'm just like, oh, I would be interested in. But I'll be honest though. I'm so like focused on what I'm doing. I'm aware of my surroundings, but I'm more focused on what I'm doing. Now I'm polite. I will speak if someone does talk to me, just Saturday when, I had to go to the gas station. I was polite, some women don't like being talked to at the gas station. I for me, I just for my safety, I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna speak, I'm gonna hold like a little conversation with you, and then I'm gonna go on, like go on my way, go on about my business. But for me, I think you're really asking like the wrong person because I think right now I'm going through like a spiritual change.
Ooh,
So like there's like a shift
I got you.
going on with me.
I got
So
you.
I'm probably not the best person to ask right now.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
Tasha,
that.
for saving me when I made my comment earlier.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. But she also shedding some light on. She added to that a
Right.
lot of women don't even like to be approached at a gas station because Kenny and I have asked this from the beginning of this show. Where can you go? We've been asking that question. So I love your suggestions, Hannah, and it's going to take some courage
Mhm.
to build up that courage to just to as Bert said, to take that leap of faith. But I got news for y'all. Don't be surprised now if I don't get the reaction and I come in and say I had to cuss this bitch out.
Yeah.
And why not the gas station? Somebody put me on, please.
No, that's creep. Why?
Look, we clearly going over today. So TFG, forgive
Don't
me.
come to no gas
We
station
going over
fucking with
tonight
me.
because this is
But I ain't
real
like
shit.
that. I speak.
I'm sorry.
She was talking to Bird.
What you say, Hannah?
Oh,
Oh,
she was-
oh,
I
okay.
said, he asked why not the gas station. I said that's the most creepiest place for me. However, I am like Tasha, for my own safety, I will speak and be polite.
Oh,
Because men have known to show their butt at the gas station.
Wow.
That live
You know
so
that
I've
used to
heard.
be
So I've
that used to
heard.
be a primary pickup spot. My
Get
nephew
cursed
Jay,
out.
he was an expert at gas station pimping. He was an expert at it. You
Because
know.
they'll follow
Was he
you
paying?
out.
Was he paying for their
Yep.
gas or was he pumping their
Then your
gas?
No,
He was
car
paying for
there,
their
they might know
gas.
your license plate.
no,
Like,
Okay.
no.
I feel
Jay
you.
was just an
Oh,
expert
yeah,
at
that's true.
wheeling into the gas
Yeah, I
station,
know.
and those little cheesy one-liners used to work. Back
Yeah.
once upon a time,
Okay.
like you too pretty to be pumping your own gas. Those little
Yeah.
cheesy
Yeah,
one-liners
yeah.
used
Right.
to work. But
yeah, that
now,
still works.
Yeah.
They,
Okay.
yeah, now that pumpkin gas might still work.
oh, again,
Oh,
good if
yeah,
good if you
especially
say
I
that.
guess with these gas prices, it probably would, huh?
But see,
And
so
this heat.
Hell yeah.
here's my fear. So here's my fear. I drive a Nissan Altima. So I whip in. I live in Buckhead. No, I see you shaking your head. So I whip in Buckhead. My car is on the true low end of the spectrum around this motherfucker.
Really?
So, oh my God,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So when I whip in my little Nissan Altima, and it's a 2015 at that, and it's usually always dirty because I don't wash cars and shit like that.
Wash the car.
We in the same boat, Black.
I
Hell,
ain't doing no wash the
Yeah,
car.
me
I
He
got a
don't wash his car and wash
I
the car.
that just ain't important to me. So
I got a
imagine
Chevrolet
whipping in,
Impala, so I get you.
and
Yeah.
thank you. So imagine whipping in, and now this woman that caught my attention, and she's there in her Range Rover, and you see a shitload of those around here, or a whole BMW. There's not a day that goes by I can go up to get my lottery tickets. BMWs like everywhere. So imagine me saying, "What's up, sweetheart? Shit, you too cute to pump." And she gives me a look because now I gotta cuss this bitch out in public. It's gonna go left real quick, real
But they
fast,
be in a Range
real
Rover and
hard.
going home to their basement apartment
It-
living with 3 people.
And that's where I'm gonna go with it. And I know me and I know my mouth. If it's gonna go left, so that's my fear that I don't want to open that door and her give me that look because I live in a place where they're going to judge what you dress, what you drive, all those things, and these are real fears, real scenarios. These are real situations. I'm not making this up. A lot of times, if I'm coming down the street, until I turn in this building, will I even get acknowledged that, oh, he might be worth talking to because I drive. But the moment I turn into here, then it's like in that quick moment, oh, he live in the Bryant. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. Now I can be walking down the halls of this building and they don't see me in the car and I'll get a smile, or whatnot because I live in the building. But if it's the other way and I'm going to my car, they're watching to see what I'm climbing into.
Wow.
They're looking to see which car I'm going to. I'm an older professional man, and I don't dress professional, just so you know. But again, a lot of times you'll see people and I'm walking, then they see me, hit my little button, and oh, he's getting in a Nissan.
Mm-hmm.
It's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. It's real. Let's go. So since we talk about where to meet people, right on time. There are dating apps for everyone. What we've discovered post-pandemic is that there has been a major uptick in dating apps where once the apps were considered, something that a lot of people didn't do. It was too impersonal. And how are you really going to meet somebody? Guess what? Now, the apps for especially those of us over 50 years of age, it's up 35,000%.
Dang.
35,000%. When you think about it, when the pandemic first hit, who was it attacking first? The elderly.
Right.
The older people were at the most risk. And then, of course, who stayed in longer even when the ban was lifted? Those of us who are older. It was the young people that were raring to get out and to get back to the streets and the parks.
Right.
And so it affected the older people first and affected them longer. And so they end up having to turn to another way to socialize. And so even for those over 50 who probably wasn't savvy with technology before, they were forced to get accustomed to dating apps. And so you've got apps like Silver Singles and Our Time and Senior Match, in addition to the ones that were already out there like Match and OkCupid, Bumble and Hinge and BlackPeopleMeet.com and Plenty of Fish and all that kind of stuff. And so the dating apps are also driving this trend of what we're experiencing, because now that people are using them, they're not going away from them. What do you guys think about using apps? So I'll see Kenny, you shaking your head. I'm gonna come to you first. Is this a viable option for you?
Hell no. I'm gonna tell you, I have not had any luck on any of those apps. I mean, I tried Black People Meet years ago. I just tried some other singles groups and whatever. But me personally, I have never had any luck. First of all, I ain't got a shame to tell my age. I'm 53. I really don't want no 53-year-old woman. I'll be honest with you, unless she look like she 43 or 40. Because most women don't think that I'm 53 and I don't act 53. And so for me, I ain't on no damn Silver Fox app. What the hell I'm gonna be on the Silver Fox app for? I ain't looking for no Silver Fox. I'm looking for me a doggone rabbit. What the hell you talking about? Y'all can keep the foxes. Show me where the rabbits are.
Bravo, my brother.
But anyway, but no, personally, I just have never had any luck with. I've tried them, but I mean, I haven't. I ain't gonna say I haven't had any luck. Just the one that's really just caught my eye. Like, yeah, I can dig her. I haven't had that one.
Gotcha. Tasha, I'm coming to you. Is this something? I'm before you even rejected it, I ain't even got the damn question out of my mouth yet.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Because of this place you're at, in all seriousness, and Tasha's one of the most tech savvy people that I know. Whenever I'm looking for something, or even I could be talking, Tasha's gonna find it just like that. So I wanted to ask you, Tasha, with all of your tech savviness, do you even look, or would you even consider, wow, seriously, before I can even get to it?
No, I've I can honestly say I've never done any dating apps. I've never created profiles for any dating apps. I've just never done it. And I think for me, and just from what I've seen, I think that that's probably what's polluting the dating pool. I'm not kidding. Because
Ooh.
again, you're getting a snippet of what somebody is. You're not getting the real version of them. You're getting some fake version. And then when you do decide to meet up, or if you both swipe or whatever it is, shoot each other, I don't know whatever it is, you realize that okay, this person in person is not even who is this person on this app. So for me, I want to meet, if I'm going to meet somebody, I want it to be organic. I am believing that the universe is going to send him here. It's only going to be one or two ways. He's either going to be a delivery driver from Amazon or UPS, or he's
Yeah.
going to be a burglar because it's Memphis. Okay, so it's only one of the not. But in all seriousness, I do think, for me, I do think my best chance of meeting somebody is going to be organic.
Wow.
Mm.
So
Wow. Wow. Hannah, what do you think about this as a viable option for people finding true love, dating apps?
So I have three people in my wedding who have met on dating apps. Two
Oh,
are married and one is engaged.
okay.
Before them, I would thought it was a bunch of bull crap. I was like, oh, how do you meet somebody online? And three of them met people online, which I was really shocked when they were telling, like, one of them was telling me, oh yeah, we met on a dating app. I was like, what?
Hmm.
Because I would have never known.
Right.
So I think it depends also because I know one of them told me on her profile they both had like I'm not for the BS. Let me know. So I don't know how the profile works. I've never had a dating app. That's never been my thing. That so whatever it is, but it worked for them. So I guess it just depends if you want to. I guess it depends on what you're looking for. But this is a technology world, so
Right, right, right.
everybody's online.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what basically everyone is, whether it's a social media app, whether it's a dating site, whether it's anything. Shoot, you can order alcohol online and get sent to your door at this point in time.
right.
So everything
Yeah.
is online. So I guess you gotta go with the times, but I do think it's all you can be outside of it, outside of online, but I do think that you can find love online. It just depends on what you're looking for.
I think I
Uh,
would only be
yeah.
able to do the online thing, and this is a an idea for Jeff Bezos. So please listen, Amazon. I think that whenever I make a purchase on Amazon, you should suggest different people create profiles and be like, "Oh, so and so just bought this product too."
I like
Hey,
that.
actually,
You know, hold on,
that's a
Yeah,
hold
great
no,
on.
idea, Tasha.
Don't say
not a
nothing
bad
because
That,
we
idea.
don't do
that's a
that.
great idea,
Bad
Tasha.
idea.
Really,
Mr.
you
TLC, what's
need to
going
bottle
on?
that
Hold on
up.
to
What's
that,
up, Lamar?
Tasha.
What's up, LF?
Hey,
Barry Gordy.
Lamar.
That's not a
Hey,
bad idea, though,
that's a
Tasha.
great idea.
Hold on to
Uh,
that.
yeah, and,
Shit. Mr. Bezos really could venture
yeah,
into the dating.
right,
That
right.
Make
really
sure you
Yeah.
record this episode so when I
Yeah.
try it, you was the one to do it.
wow.
Hold up.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, and
That
then,
was a good idea.
and to speak on what Hannah said, I have a good buddy of mine. He met his wife on Black People.
Mhm.
I mean, so I know some people that has have met people online and it's been successful. But everything, one size ain't fit all with that. That's what I've learned. Just because it worked for someone else, it may not work for you, and that's what I found. But I definitely believe it works because I've seen some success stories for them. So to each his own.
Absolutely. Bert, what do you think about dating apps as a means for people to find true relationships?
Well, there was a, I don't think Hannah ever told you this, and I don't think I did too, so I'll tell you. I met Hannah through crazy.com.
Yo,
That was,
Yeah.
I hate you so much. I hate you so
but I've heard, I've heard the good stories about it and the
He
bad
gotta
stories.
go.
A good friend of mine a couple years ago. He used to go through it and found women left and right, whether it was just for like one nighters.
Right.
That ain't love.
love. That's first day
Yeah,
love.
yeah. Hey.
It was love. It
No.
Oh
was
yeah.
love. Damn.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's about
It was
love, not
some out
drugs.
there.
Oh, my bad.
It was some out there for sure.
Cheeks is everywhere.
Yeah, geeks are everywhere.
That's
But I
right.
mean, I guess like what you all were saying, I guess it's just being with the times. I mean, that was never my lane
Right.
to ever jump into that. I guess I just wasn't trusting enough
Okay.
of the picture. I wasn't trusting enough
Yeah.
of what you might say about
Right.
yourself. Me, it's the eye test. I like to see
Okay.
for myself. You know, it's a different experience. I can feel the energy, the whole nine. So it was never my wave. It was never my lane.
Okay.
But I mean, being in today's time and what's going on, it might be a considerable option.
Mm.
And what's going on out there right now.
I'm for it.
They got sugardaddies.com.
Yeah, yeah.
They really do.
And sugar mamas too.
Absolutely. And I mean, some of these are serious sites too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Absolutely. Lamar says Facebook has a dating thing now, which I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
tried it.
Yeah, they've
Um,
had that for a minute. Yeah, I've seen it.
Really?
I have been on many.
Facebook has dating?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
a dating. Yeah, Facebook.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm on it.
What?
I'm on it. And
You want it?
I have met people on there, but didn't meet them. You know, but I even
Right.
have some of my viewers that we connected on there, but we didn't actually physically get a chance to meet.
Okay.
You know, I have some viewers on, you know, who tune into the show now. I met through Facebook actually, but I
Hmm.
did very well in terms of meeting and banging bitches from dating apps. You know, you
BB.
know,
Cancel.
What?
you know. Look, I'm being honest. You know, they ought to give me my honorary wing and plenty of fish. You know, I got my own wing there. I beat a lot of nasty bitches off plenty of fish. You know, because it's pretty much a sex site. You know what I'm saying? Local space. Some of the most ghetto nasty bitches you ever want to see. You know, is on that site. You know, blackpeoplemeet.com did it very well. You know, I really have done those, and it's relatively easy.
It was another one too. Tag. Do you remember that one?
Oh, tagged not lots of young ghetto bitches.
You
Oh,
remember
God,
that one though? It
when I
was.
went
I
to
think
my
it was
young-
called Tag.
Oh, I
Yeah.
used to beat them bitches off tag
Who does?
every single day.
I know Black Planet.
Every single day. No, that's whoa.
Yeah.
When
I
I was
know.
when I first moved here, and I used to sit at my job, you know, in the evening time, I used to literally on my screen, Kenny would tag. That was my favorite because I could meet a woman that night. People would come over to my desk at night, and I would select me a young nasty one every single night. The problem here was that I'm so good at it until I started fearing falling back into that hole of a lot of indiscriminate people, and I had chlamydia 4 times in a row, and I got scared, like, oh my God, I'm falling back into this trap, you know. And I had to, you know, Lamar says another
Oh
good
yeah,
one.
Tinder. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
Tinder.
I've done them all.
Yeah.
I've done them all. Do you know what stopped me? It wasn't a pandemic. It was First 48. First 48 actually is what stopped me.
Oh,
I began to see more episodes of people getting killed, and I realized the danger that I
Right.
was taking
Right.
by having all of these strange bitches in my house.
Exactly.
They wouldn't
Yep.
know me because Tasha's right. You're putting on there your representative, you know.
Right.
It just comes with the territory to lie. There's no way in the world I would put a current picture of what I look like now on there. You know, you put your best foot forward, a picture that's pleasing enough when I had all my teeth and shit. You know, I didn't have 2 necks, and you know, I looked like I was fairly decent. Because the mindset is, by the time the bitch get there, either you in it or you ain't. You know,
Yeah.
Lord help us.
you know. So again, I'm in total control of the situation, but I also realize they're also in my house. So that came with a whole level of secrecy and things you have to look out for. You know, the apartment I remember I was in at one point apartment where I would stand over on the balcony and look over to see if they had anybody in the car with them. If I could see more than one head in the car,
Right.
I wouldn't even answer the door.
Yeah.
because I wouldn't tell them my apartment.
Yeah.
So all these precautions you have to do. But then if you have them in the house, you can't nut and then go in the bathroom and wash your dick off because you can't turn your back on these bitches. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get them up out of there first. All these little protocols you can't do, so you got to beat them bitches right there in the living room on a dirty sheet. And then after you finish, wipe yourself off, get their musty ass up out of there. You don't want them to use your bathroom because I don't want them goggling with my mouthwash or nothing. So all these things that go along with
What?
it.
You ain't had a little Dixie cups in there, so you could like.
Oh,
I would
no.
hide my toothbrush and hide my mouthwash just in case they had to go to the bathroom. If they were pretty enough that you let them in the bathroom, for some reason, but you don't want them to be exposed to your toothbrush or your mouthwash, and then you make sure, they got no clothes on, so no pockets to steal. I mean, this is protocol reasons where you have to do these things, all these, it's a job. It's a job. And then you got to get these bitches out before 3:00 so you can clean up and go to work. So
That is not protocol. That is just the rules of your.
Time out.
This is not a protocol.
So do you let them know where you're not using them under the bathroom?
Hey.
No. You have to be on your game that when they walk through this door, the lights are dim, the music is on, liquor is being served. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to get to it real quick. So my thing is all of the action has to take place in that one room. You're not going in my bedroom. And so obviously there wasn't a fear of monkeypox at this point. I wasn't even thinking COVID be pre. And so my thing is pandemic did change a lot of this, and I even had some ones over, here and there when you get a little horny. That's my go-to. If I get horny, I can still log into these sites and pull somebody over, but you running a risk. You taking a risk, and that's the thing. It's just risky. It's just so much out there. But to Tasha's point, I never expected to meet real love. Now, here's the crazy part. I have had lasting relationships from dating sites and whatnot, to be honest with you. My baby mom, I met her off a dating site, I had great friendships and, great long sexual relationships with people I met off of dating sites, whatnot. It's possible. But then Kenny brings up another good point. I'm 54. I want a 50-year-old, I happen to like young women, so I realize now I've had to temper my taste, now I have to tolerate a little bit of a belly. Titties they can sag a little bit now, but I don't want them down to their belly and shit, so I mean you still so but at the same time I have to be realistic because now where I am, I have to realize when they come in, they're gonna see my fat black ass too now. So,
Hey, Black, you still have to pull them down.
you have to be well, like I said, you can't lie too far across the spectrum. You can't say that you're 47, and you're 225 pounds. Then they get there and you do look like you're 50 years old and shit. And you're 350 pounds, I mean, you got to keep it in the ballpark, and you have to get creative with your lies and whatnot. But that's why the expectation is not to find anything real on there because it's filled with lies and representation. I would imagine the older sites where you can be completely honest probably work. But to Kenny's point, I don't want no old bitch.
I don't think Kenny said old bitch.
No, I did. No, you're right, Honda.
I mean that with love. I don't want no old woman. Let's be honest. If I was completely honest, and even when I on the Facebook ones, guess who hits me on the Facebook ones? Women in my age group. And they can't do. Bless their heart. I love them.
I love them too.
Best women in the world, but
I love
me laying down with some 50-year-old woman, it's just
they be wanting to cook neck bones and black eyed peas and stuff. I'm like, no, baby,
I cook black
You
eyed
might want to play Yahtzee or something.
yeah, Yeah,
I'm,
big.
I'm,
think
The
I'm,
one,
I'm
mine-
rubbing on my
Young
knee
girl.
ornament and shit, and she's saying, "Put some Bengay on my back." No,
All right, not the
no.
big gay.
We both got humidifiers going and shit in the bedroom.
Nothing wrong with humidifiers.
It just it ain't gonna work.
Right.
yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah. You
right.
know what? You're right.
I'm trying to figure out
Nothing
now,
wrong with
like,
breathing
are
fresh
y'all,
What?
air.
am I 50 years old? Because damn it, you know I can rub some icy hot on my back every once in a while.
One of us got to be young enough to take care of the other one.
Say that
One
again.
one of us got to be young enough to be take care of the other one. I mean, we both can't be old up in there rolling
I
around.
know.
Can't get out of the goddamn bed and talking about rinse me the damn Ben Gay. No, we both can't be old doing all that.
Help me
So
down.
Hey,
Help me off the bed.
That's Kitty is so right. So that's why I say that's just not gonna
youth
work.
is a
So
state of mind.
no,
Not in this case.
It feels good.
youth is real. Youth is real.
But what's the? I have a quick question though. What is? Because we're different in ages. You know, I'm 19.
we know how to. We know you're 19.
But
we know.
we're different, and he said the same thing. Like he wouldn't date someone his age, and I'm trying to figure out why.
What's wrong with that?
But what is it? Because one day we'll be 50.
But we won't be 50.
Y'all won't be 50 at the same
At the
time.
same
We won't
time.
be 50 at the same time. Exactly.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
your youth. Your youth causes us to still be youthful. I can't be around somebody that's going to be.
Let me answer it this way. Let me answer this way, Hannah. A woman, especially a wife, is a man's crown. You represent both of y'all when you go out in public. Now, call it vanity, pride, whatever you want to. But as a man, since you're going to be representing him and people see that woman and man, who got her? He won't be around. You see what I'm saying? So you want somebody young, attractive, because without even saying it, and y'all show up at a function together, here's what a man loves. That when he walk in, they go, damn, he got her.
How he do that? Mm-hmm.
What's in here now?
It's got nothing to do with age.
No, yes,
Yes and no.
I'm
Yes
gonna
and
say
no.
it does. I'm gonna challenge it because my stepmom is older than my dad.
okay.
Okay.
My mother and my stepdad are very close in age. So I don't know if it's so much that or is it just more, like, because again, you could be older but have just really good genes.
I'm glad
Right.
you. I'm glad.
Right.
I know.
That-
I knew
right.
you
No,
was
I agree
going
with
there.
that.
So
Right.
we're not talking about those occasions where the
Yeah.
woman has great genes and you don't look it. We're not. We have those anomalies, but by and large, let's be honest, Tasha.
Mhm.
Let's be honest now. Let's think about the average women that I am going to meet that's 50 and older. They're not going to have those genes. Like that.
Ernestine might have them genes, okay? She might.
Not Ernestine.
Ernestine.
And
the hell?
Virginia May, she might be banging, okay? So
Nope.
don't come for them like that.
Now,
Ernestine.
to Hannah's point,
No, I know
maybe if I
Ernestine
go
don't.
to
You
the,
can.
the,
You.
the what
That's
do
a
you say,
lie.
the place to meet the corporate kind of stuff. Maybe I might meet that corporate woman who's sacrificed and take care of herself. But the average one I'm gonna meet in 50s, let's just be honest, stomach gonna kind of look like balled up homework, titties gonna be sagging. You know what I'm saying? You cannot bounce a quart off her ass. And if she probably in her 50s, she probably can't suck dick real good. You know what I'm saying? She might even want to suck dick. You know what I'm saying? So we got all these host of things going on. No.
I'm logging off. Good night.
Yeah. Well, we gonna be canceled anyway, so
I gotta tell y'all, we only at number 3, so we're gonna have to make this a 2-parter show because I got 3 more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to do them justice because this
Yeah.
conversation really was that interesting. So in the interest
You
of
give
time, we
Ruth a
already
chance.
20 minutes over, huh?
So you give Hazel a chance.
right.
No, you go ahead with Lakeisha now, man. Don't
Not
Hazel.
Thank you.
Nah,
Thank you.
don't
Thank
do
you.
it.
So what's the oldest that you would go as far as closest to your age?
I love the line from the movie Malcolm X.
I do
Half
too.
your age plus 7.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Half
That
your age
really
plus 7.
that is a realistic
Right, age.
measuring
To
stick.
have your
It,
age
it
plus
really
7.
is.
Mhm.
So at 54, Tasha, half
Mm-hmm.
of 54 is what?
Okay.
27
Mm-hmm.
Plus
plus 7.
34.
What does that give me?
34.
34 is the youngest. So that's the bottom. And
Mhm.
it really fits because a woman that's about 34, she's just old enough to know who OJ's is and the 90s music and whatnot. And so to be able to and to likely in that case know how to cook. So 34, 35, 37 to know how to cook, clean house, pay some bills, but she's still young enough that if anybody gonna die in that bedroom, I want to die. Shit.
No, that was my question. My question was, what's the oldest?
Okay,
Is
The
34 the
oldest.
there you go.
oldest?
So it
Oh,
begins.
the oldest.
So for
Okay.
me, it's about 34 up to about 45.
Okay.
Up to about 45. There are some exceptions,
Except,
but
yeah.
to me, when you get to about 45, again, I will be about 9-10 years older. There's another benefit to that for me that I would have that 10 years of wisdom on that woman to maybe where she would appreciate that he know a lot more than me. He's been around. You get them arrogant bitches in your age group who think they know just as much as you know. You got to choke them bitches. You got
Well,
to
Miss,
get your hands on
well, Miss Josephine at 45 might be like that. So,
but that just it. But that just it. You're picking somebody that would appreciate, because to them, a 45-year-old, guess what they're gonna say? I'm dating this older guy. That's what they're going to tell their friends. Girl, I got this older man. He got his shit together. And you standing there with your pants up around your belly thinking, I got you. I got that young gal.
Yeah.
Got her.
Yeah, looking like Uncle Charlie.
right.
Now,
I'm trying to tell you. There is
Yeah.
there's a science to this thing out here. There's a logic to this thing out
I
here.
don't like that logic. 'Cause
The
that means
old,
you too old.
yeah, the oldest I would go with
See, the starting point is
He
like
said
that.
half your age.
Half the age.
half
Plus
your age
seven.
plus
Plus
7.
seven.
Said he has,
Plus 7.
That's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
So that make me too old for you.
No, because I won't date nobody over. I wouldn't date nobody over 40.
What?
It would have to be 30s and to that point, and that's it. Straight
Because
up.
look at his age, though.
Right.
That makes
He's
sense.
60.
You saying that like that's a bad thing.
I
Right.
think gonna say about that.
You saying that like
You
that's a
actually
bad
proving
thing.
his point. You actually proving his point.
Yeah, she's still proving it. If that was the
Kenny, what's
case.
the oldest for you?
If you
You
was
said
60, I'd be shocked.
Yeah. Actually, the oldest I would go my age, no older than 53.
Lord,
That's
I can't
it.
do it. I
That's
can't
my
do it.
cutoff.
Oh, so
And
you
then
would go in your 50s, Kenny.
I would go with 53, but it would definitely have to be. I mean, you know,
A young
our
53?
our 53s will have to match. Put it that way. You feel me?
She
Because
couldn't
our
look. She
53
couldn't look 53.
Right. I mean, you can't be
Okay, yeah,
53 and be
beautiful.
63. Come on. No,
You better
me
leave
neither.
Ruth Ann alone. She
You
got
know what?
Ruth Ann is gonna be just fine. Okay.
I get Kenny because my mom is older than my stepdad, and no one believes it.
Mm.
No one believes my mom is the age she like.
got
She
good
said when she was in the
genes.
store the
Yeah.
other day,
That
somebody
does
my
matter.
age tried to talk to her. She was upset.
That matters.
Yeah.
Right. That does
Young
matter.
boy trying to come up to me.
My brothers and them got a crush on my mom.
I know.
But here's what you face sometimes with that. As I get ready to end the show, a lot of older women, they want young men.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely
So
it now.
that's also a real thing.
Right.
That you
Right.
can take a woman that's 55 and she'll tell me to my face, you can't do nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
You're an older man.
Right.
I respect you. You
Mm-mm.
but you can't do nothing for me. And I actually know the women that wouldn't even look my way. Because for them, they
Mhm.
want a 30-year-old man.
Right,
They want
right.
they've
want a young-
already got their education. Their kids are grown. They own their own house. They own everything. They don't want a man for any, they want the same thing I talked about. How a woman is a man's crown. That woman is looking to walk in a room with a guy that's super. She wants her peers to say she got her a young man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Thundercat.
absolutely. It is. So that's the other dynamic. So
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
real. We
Go
went up. We
both
went
ways.
25 minutes over. We'll be 30 minutes over. I have three more great trends to cover. We're gonna make this a part two show because we went over. But you know what? I count this as the fact that we've been off for a couple of weeks. How much I missed you guys. How much I missed this conversation. But also the conversation was real. Amidst the laughs and jokes, this is a real dilemma that we're facing here as far as post-pandemic dating. And while I'm holding out hope, I don't know. It's not looking good. There's some things coming down the pike that really is going to be challenging. And what's crazy is I'm looking at the three that's left.
Mm.
When we get to these next week, it's going to be challenging, guys.
Mm.
That we in the midst of an unprecedented heat wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
More and more states are declaring a state of emergency because of monkeypox.
Mm-hmm.
COVID is creeping right back up where it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
They won't admit this, but we are in a recession.
Yeah, they definitely.
Yeah.
Even got to flu season yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got winter coming where traditionally we think about going inside and coupling up. This is a bad concoction that we're about to face. And so that we're talking about this for us that's dating, wanting to date, and just even finding ourselves. This is a real topic. So I hope next week we get more people to join in this conversation because we laughing, but
Right.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
very, very
I'm not crying.
absolutely. So I know I'm already over. So brother Kenny, if you can, for those that might come and watch this show afterwards, please tell them where they can find this show and other shows like it. And I appreciate that, my brother.
Will do. You can catch my man Lee Black and Tasha, host of Real Talk for Real Men. You can catch them on TFG Uncut as well as TFG Ratchet on Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna have all the hot topics. We have a little fun on Sunday, but on Wednesday we're gonna talk a little bit, but we still gonna have a little fun as well. Then you can catch on Fridays and Sundays the Real Estate Insider with your host Lamar Falk. He's gonna be taking you through celebrity homes. They may be foreclosed on, may not have any furniture in it, but you're gonna kind of check what they like. You can catch him on Friday nights around 9:30 p.m., I believe, Central Standard Time, and the same time on Sundays after the Atlanta Housewives, which I don't watch, but anyway. You can catch our guy, Barry Gordy of this, Lamar Falk, on Fridays and Sundays live. And then on Sunday nights at 8 p.m., you can catch Rube and the fellas. That's not DJ Sullivan, Charles Moore, and Dwayne Martin at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. They talking what's trending in entertainment, sports, and news. And then on Monday nights on TFG Tonight with the host Brenton Haynes, myself, Lee Black, and Devin Devine. You can catch us at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're talking news, politics, what's trending, entertainment, and sports as well. And on Tuesday nights, you can catch me, the sports guy, Kendrick Henderson, TFG Sports Show from 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to 7 on Tuesdays. And I'm giving to you sports straight with no chaser. And then also on Tuesdays, we got a religious program, Pearls of Wisdom, with Minister Val. You can catch her at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays as well. Now, I know Forgive Us Later, my guy, Lamar Falk, that's DJ Sullivan, and that's Charles. I think they may be moving from either Thursday to Wednesday to Thursday, but make sure you go subscribe to Forgive Us Later on YouTube. Make sure you catch those guys out because they talk crazy, and you're going to have to forgive them later, ladies, because if you watch that show, they get raunchy. a little raunchy with it. So those are the shows you can catch on the TFG network. Hope everyone checks something out. Make sure you subscribe to all these shows. Make sure you support it, like it, and post it to all your social media platforms. So there you have it, Black. And I gotta say this: I gotta wish my youngest son a happy early born day. His born day is on Friday. He will be my baby boy. Will be 26 years old.
Right.
Yeah, he's still
Born
a
day,
baby.
Yeah.
So I want to wish my baby boy Kentrail, Damon Henderson a happy early 26 born day.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
born day,
birthday.
Corey.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Brother Kenny. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this is a great for my soul. You guys just don't know. So I'm inside trying to beat the heat like everybody else. And I love seeing you guys. I appreciate you guys. And our last thing I'll say, if you don't know, there's a wedding coming.
Oh
Mm.
yes, it
There's a wedding
is.
coming, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, indeed. So we're making plans. Guys, I will talk to you guys, behind the scenes because we're trying to coordinate our efforts. My nephew, so we plan on being there. Plan on
Oh,
being
that's
there.
what's up.
I'm
That's
not
what's
coming.
up. Oh,
Leave it alive.
oh, okay. Well, there you
You'll
have
be
it.
there. You'll be there.
We're gonna do it somewhere else with the monkeypox. So we're
Don't
gonna
say that. Don't say
Oh
that.
yeah, never mind. Let me take that back.
Yeah, don't say that, brother. Yeah, come on now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
looking
take that
forward
back,
to
man.
So that's one of the
Okay.
events I'm absolutely looking forward to. So that's one of the things I do not plan on missing. I will be in my new place by then, so I'm looking forward to that. So definitely keep that in mind. So viewers out there, I want y'all to wish Hannah and Bert and give them all the great energy as they work towards their impending nuptials. This is a reason for us to celebrate.
Yes.
And we need
Yes.
good, positive examples of Black love to celebrate, to lift up high, to put on the pedestal. God knows we need it. So
Exactly.
we love you guys. I love,
Love
you
you
guys.
guys for sure.
Absolutely. So I
Absolutely.
wanted to
Yeah.
start. So I'm starting that campaign right now. So until we see each other on Sunday, everybody stay cool. Everybody be safe. Love you and always keep it real.
Peace.